And I noticed that the title to my drawing is down here, and that's because I started initially with a very large area that's cropped. To move these titles, click on them till they turn blue and then drag them closer to the detail that they describe. Now to make this line shorter, I click on the viewport, or the crop window rather, and I drag in the end of that line so it's closer. Okay, so the same process would go for the other drawings. The section I would drag in similarly, and you would also do this with any renderings that you have included in the drawing. If I just simply drag that over, I'm going to be able to place it, and I would manipulate it the same way. Click on the title bar, the detail title below the image to move it. Click on the window to drag the crop view, rather, to drag the title so that it aligns with the image itself. Right now I'll bring in a section and place it directly below. I'm going to zoom in a little closer here. Okay. Same thing would go for these column grids. I can turn those off. I don't need these levels. You'll notice that it has named these views. If you want to change the name that appears here, you would simply click on them in the project browser, and then you can right-click and rename them. Okay, so maybe you have more specific information that you'd like to give to the room name or to the view name. Okay, and you can see also that it has cropped out some of the information that I would like to appear. So I'm going to drag this so that it is below. I want to have at least maybe 3 times the thickness of a ceiling or a wall. That would represent the earth tone. All right, I'm going to click on these, and I am going to hide them, hide the category in this view. I'm going to do the same thing with my levels. Sometimes you want these to appear on presentation drawings, sometimes not. You can see that the earth material is defined by this graphic that we normally would add to a construction document. For a presentation drawing, I would prefer to have this as a solid, either black or gray tone. So I'll show you how. So I'll show you how to change that setting. Okay, I've gone to the Manage tab, and I'm going to click on Object Styles. I'm going to scroll down to where it describes the topography. Right, you can see that currently the topography is assigned the earth material. So I'm going to click in that cell, and it will then open the materials browser. And where it says earth, what I'm going to do is change the cut pattern. Right, I'm going to make that solid fill, say OK, and I'm going to change the color to a gray tone. I'm going to apply that and say OK. Apply, OK. So what you can see now is that this is now articulated with a gray tone. All right, now some of these walls are being cut through. You can see they have a slightly heavier line weight. So I would like for these to also be filled with the solid tone. So I'm going to go back to my Object Styles, and I'm going to look for floors. Okay. Default new material. And here also, I'm going to click on this default new material, and where it says pattern, I'm going to change that also to solid fill, and I'm going to say OK, apply. And you would do this for the walls as well. say OK. And as you can see, it's now changed colors, although you can see also that it's a little bit too dark. I want to use the same tone for the 2. I'm going to go back to floors, and where it says default new material, I am going to change the color of that solid fill to this light gray. Okay. Now, when I go back to my presentation sheet, all those changes should be reflected. As you can see, I changed the crop window, and so now I need to make some adjustments to the placement. Try to be consistent with the placement of your text and your detail title. I've aligned this point right here with the border of the image. Also, when we get all of this laid out, we want to turn off these crop windows. If you go back to your section and you turn off that crop window, then when you go back again to the sheet, you should see that it's off. Okay, so you want to continue to make changes as necessary. We want to show 2 plans, 2 sections, 4 renderings, and that should be sufficient to basically describe or depict this particular model. Now I'm back in my level 1 plan, and one thing that I've done is I've turned off the underlay. The one thing you want to keep in mind with a plan is that when you cut the plan, it is the graphic convention to show major elements overhead with a hidden line type. And when I turn off the underlay, I had previously had level 2 showing, now there's nothing. What I'm going to need to do is to turn that underlay back on. So now you're seeing elements that would be visible if you looked up from level 1 up to level 2. But there's also things showing that shouldn't appear, like this is the railing that's actually part of the level 2 plan. What I have here are a number of beams, so there's no floor above. I could see directly through this. And I want to show this. I want to show these lines, but I want to show. So what I'm going to do is go to the Architecture tab, and I'm going to click on Model Line. And you'll see over on the right this panel for the line style. I'm going to make a hidden line, and I'm simply going to trace the lines that should appear. Okay, so we'll just go and continue making these lines. If I click a point and then click another point, I can double click to get myself out of that command and then continue to make more of these lines. Okay. Click, model line, and it's just a matter of going around and tracing all the lines that would be visible from that view. And when I go over to the properties window and I go to where the objects are identified in terms of their underlay, and I turn it back to none, I should see now that the only lines that appear are the hidden lines that I created. So there would be a lot more, and they would wrap all the way around this floor plan.